The Galactic Council had existed for over 12,000 years. It included more than 800 species from across the known universe. They had seen many strange things. They had discovered planets made entirely of crystal. They had found beings that lived inside stars. They had met creatures that existed in multiple dimensions at once, but nothing had prepared them for the discovery of Earth. Ambassador Al stood before the massive viewing screen in the council chamber. His four eyes blinked rapidly as the blue and green planet rotated slowly before him. He was a species known for their careful study of new worlds. His gray skin had turned almost white from shock. "This cannot be correct," he whispered to his assistant. "Run the scans again." His assistant, a young named, shook her head slowly. "I have run them 17 times, Ambassador. The results are the same each time." The council hall fell silent as the data appeared on every screen. Representatives from hundreds of worlds leaned forward in their seats. Many of them had never seen anything like this. "The gravity is one standard unit," Al announced, his voice shaking. "That is more than 3 times what most species can survive comfortably. The native life forms walk upright under this crushing force as if it were nothing." A gasp went through the chamber. The Florians, a species of plant-like beings, physically wilted at the thought. "It gets worse," Al continued. "The planet experiences massive temperature changes. In some regions, the temperature drops so low that water becomes solid rock. In others, it rises high enough to kill most known species in minutes. And the inhabitants, they live in both environments." The delegate, a being made mostly of living water, seemed to boil with fear. "The atmosphere contains a highly reactive gas called oxygen. This gas makes up 21% of the air. For reference, most species die within seconds of exposure to such levels. The humans breathe this gas constantly. They require it to survive." The chamber had grown very quiet now. Even the translators had stopped their work, too stunned to continue. "There is more," Al said, and his voice had become very soft. "The planet is bombarded by radiation from its star. The magnetic field provides only partial protection. The surface receives enough ultraviolet radiation to cause cellular damage in most species. The humans, they call this radiation sunshine. They enjoy sitting in it, for recreation." An ambassador fainted. Medical teams rushed to assist. The planet rotates rapidly, creating a day-night cycle of only 24 hours. Most species require at least 100 hours to properly rest. Humans sleep for only 6 to 8 hours and then continue functioning at full capacity. Al pressed another button and the screen filled with images of Earth's wildlife. The council members screamed. Several fled the chamber entirely. "These are some of the planet's predators," he explained. "Large cats that can run faster than most vehicles. Bears that stand 3 meters tall and can crush metal with their bare hands. Sharks that have existed unchanged for 400 million years because they were already perfect killing machines. Snakes with venom strong enough to kill thousands of beings. Insects that spread diseases capable of wiping out entire populations." He paused and let the images sink in. Then he showed the most terrifying image of all. "And yet," he said slowly, "none of these are the dominant species. The humans are." The screen showed a human family having a picnic in a forest. They were smiling and laughing while surrounded by an environment that would kill any council species within hours. "Humans have not merely survived on this," Al continued. "They have conquered it. They have climbed the highest mountains where the air is too thin to breathe. They have descended into the deepest oceans where the pressure would crush any vessel we could build. They have crossed burning deserts and frozen wastelands. They have done this not because they had to, but because they wanted to see what was there." The council members stared at the screen in complete silence. "Their bodies are remarkable," Al said. "When damaged, they repair themselves. Their bones grow back stronger after breaking. Their immune systems can defeat thousands of different diseases. They can lose limbs and continue living. They can even replace organs with mechanical devices and keep functioning. He brought up a new image showing human medical procedures. When they get sick, they deliberately inject themselves with weakened versions of diseases to make their bodies stronger. They call this vaccination. They cut each other open to repair internal damage and sew themselves back together. They survive this. The delegate, a species known for their extreme fragility, had to be carried out of the chamber. Their endurance is beyond anything we have recorded, Al continued. They can travel vast distances on foot without stopping. In their ancient past, they would chase prey animals until those animals collapsed from exhaustion. The humans would still be walking when their prey could no longer move. He showed footage of human athletes running marathons, climbing mountains, swimming across channels of water. They do this for entertainment now, he explained. They push their bodies to the absolute limit for fun. They compete to see who can survive the most extreme conditions. They jump from aircraft and fall through the atmosphere before deploying fabric to slow their descent. They call this skydiving. They climb vertical rock faces with minimal equipment. They swim in waters so cold that most species would die from thermal shock. Al took a deep breath and moved to the most classified section of his report. We made first contact with humans 3 months ago. A research vessel from the Galactic Council encountered one of their primitive spacecraft. We sent a team of scientists to study them. I am the only survivor. The chamber fell into complete silence. We did not understand what we were dealing with, Al said quietly. We thought they were like us. We thought their world was like ours. We were wrong. He showed footage from helmet cameras. The council members watched as scientists landed on Earth in environmental suits, rated for the most dangerous known environments. The suits failed within 3 hours, Al narrated. The oxygen levels overwhelmed the filters. The gravity exhausted our limbs. The radiation penetrated our shielding. And then we encountered the wildlife. The footage showed something moving in the trees, then screaming, then darkness. A common house cat killed Dr. L, Al said flatly. This is a creature that humans keep as a pet. They allow it to sleep in their beds. They consider it cute. He showed an image of a fluffy orange cat sitting on a human's lap. We tried to flee into what we thought was an uninhabited area. We were wrong. We had entered something humans call a city. The footage resumed, showing towering structures of metal and glass, thousands of vehicles moving at deadly speeds, millions of humans walking through the streets. The noise alone nearly killed Dr. Oz, Al continued. The pollution levels exceeded anything we had measured on industrial worlds. The humans breathed it without noticing. They consumed food that would be classified as poison by any galactic standard. They drank liquids made from fermented plants that destroy brain cells. They did this deliberately at social gatherings while laughing. The footage showed humans at a party, drinking alcohol and eating spicy food. We were found by a group of young humans, Al said. We prepared for death. We had seen what their world could do. We knew what they were capable of surviving. We assumed they would destroy us without hesitation. He paused, and something changed in his expression. They helped us, he said softly. They saw that we were hurt and scared, and they helped us. They took us to their medical facilities. They treated our wounds with their primitive but effective technology. They fed us and gave us shelter. They asked us questions about the stars. The footage showed humans carefully tending to the injured, bringing them blankets, offering them water that had been specially filtered. They were curious, Al said. Not hostile, not aggressive, just curious. They wanted to know about us. They wanted to know about the galaxy. They wanted to know if they could be friends with us. He turned to face the council directly. This is the most frightening thing about humans, he declared. They have survived everything. Their planet has thrown every possible disaster at them. Ice ages, meteor impacts, Eruptions, plagues, wars, their own technological mistakes, and through all of it they have remained curious, they have remained hopeful, they have remained kind. Al pointed at the image of Earth on the main screen. Any other species would have become monsters on such a world. Any other species would have turned purely aggressive, purely focused on survival. But humans developed art. They developed music. They developed philosophy. They ask questions about the meaning of existence while living on a planet that tries to kill them every single day. He walked to the center of the chamber. The Galactic Council has designated Earth as a Class 12. This is the highest classification we have. It means that no species should ever set foot on its surface. It means the planet is considered completely unsuitable for life. He smiled, which was an expression they had learned from humans. But humans don't know that. They call their world beautiful. They write poetry about sunsets that could blind us. They swim in oceans filled with creatures that could devour them. They climb mountains that would crush us. They look up at the stars and dream of visiting other worlds. Al returned to his podium and pulled up one final image. It showed a human child pointing at the night sky, wonder clear on its face. The question before this council is simple, he concluded. Do we hide from these incredible beings? Do we pretend they do not exist? Or do we welcome them into the galactic community and hope that we can survive their friendship? The council voted unanimously to make contact, not because they were not afraid. They were terrified, but they understood something important. A species that could thrive on and still choose kindness was exactly what the galaxy needed. When the human ambassadors finally arrived at the Galactic Council 1 year later, they brought gifts, seeds from their gardens, music from their cultures, stories from their history, and something else that no other species had ever offered. They brought hope, because if humanity could survive Earth, they could survive anything. And maybe, just maybe, they could teach the rest of the galaxy how to do the same. They had produced something remarkable, something impossible, something wonderful, and the universe would never be the same again.